guys, I decided that we were going to talk about part 2 of the last one we were talking about, and I figured out why my sound got so messed up in Maiden Rose. I had 2 microphones plugged in. Because for the longest time when I was doing my reviews, I was using a microphone from my Rock Band kit. And when I got my headset, I kind of forgot to unplug that. So that was the problem. I got that fixed, no problem. I'm also going to discuss a little bit before we start getting into details about the second one. Just to let you guys know ahead of time, this takes off after the first one when he got so-called raped. So that's what's going on right now. I'm just going to let this play through while I discuss why I'm not going to be doing a review on Boukun Piclet. First of all, in Boukun Piclet, it's kind of a controversial anime because our main character, Piclet, is clearly a child. He's either 10... Okay, someone's angry. He's either 10 or 12, and he hooks up with someone who's obviously 25, whatnot. And there's other... Okay, someone's not doing too good. There's also rumors that the guy is... Or that... It's weird. I'm just not going to do it, guys. I watched it entirely, and I was like, I didn't know how to feel about that. That's a nice back... That's a nice ass, though. But, And speaking of which, I actually got permission from my friend Kick-Ass-Man3 to talk a little bit about him in this video because there are some things in this video that me and him kind of play off each other, and it's kind of funny because I am just terrible with him sometimes. But anyway, obviously the drugs have worn off completely, and now he is at 100% of his level. So he's yep. This is exactly Kick-Ass-Man 3. He will do that to me. Say, "Come here, boy. You're getting an ass beaten." That's exactly what Kick-Ass-Man 3 does to me on IMVU when I decide that I'm going to misbehave or try to flirt with him. He kicks my butt constantly. But obviously, as you guys have seen, this takes off exactly where the second one leaves off. The drugs have worn off. He's completely at his 100%. And obviously there is a fight. And I'm going to apologize, guys. I was wrong about the second one. He really doesn't open up to Mori. But he does at the very end. He does have sex with him. But the problem that I had with that, as touching as that was, he didn't look like he was enjoying it. You know, he kept mentioning something about blackmail. Damn, he can hit. He got distracted by a punch. That's bad. That's a good bruise. Good God. That is awful. And I got distracted. And I'm gonna cut. There's a shower scene coming up, guys. I'm gonna cut that because it's just. It's a little touchy. I'm not going to stop, obviously, recording. I'm just going to cut that out during the editing process. But obviously, at the end, when he does have sex with Mori, he doesn't look like he's enjoying it. He keeps mentioning something about blackmail. And I honestly don't know what he's talking about the whole blackmail thing. I don't know if he is himself gay and he's just afraid to come out about it, or if he's not really sure if he's gay, but he keeps mentioning this blackmail thing. I don't know what's going on, you know. But this is the episode. I also screwed up in the first one. It's in the second episode where Mori takes off. It's in the second one, and I will show the scenes of when the senpai did find him and they did have their little touching moment. And it was a touching moment. It really made me feel like, okay, so he does care for him. I'm just going to take a drink real quick. Gotta have Diet Pepsi sometimes, you know. I am trying, guys, to cut back on a lot of foods and drinks that I'm not going to try to, you know, have anymore. So, you know. Anyway, I also want to say I was a little disappointed that Kick-Ass Man 3 couldn't do any crossovers with me. We were going to do a crossover talking about Claude. We were going to do a crossover together talking about Growl, but I just don't have the technology and the know-how to do a crossover with him. I really wish I could, because I think he could bring some stuff to the table. To be honest, him and me are kind of like politics when we talk about different animes, different characters, and so on and so forth. And so that kind of bummed me out that I couldn't do a crossover with him. But we might, if we do a crossover together, we'll talk about Sebastian Marcellus, because that's his favorite character, and I'd like him to do the honors of talking about it. Because you guys already know who I love. But I didn't tell you the order of who I love from Black Butler. I know. I'm getting off track. But I want to put this in perspective of the order. It goes Growl first, then Claude, then William, and then Sebastian. Don't ask me why I put him last, guys. Come on. He's the most popular. Everybody loves him, but nobody loves Growl. Come on. Anyway, let's get off the Growl bandwagon for like 5 minutes, because I'm so great. I just can't get off that topic. But, I could see where Mori was coming from. He really loves his senpai. He really wants to be with this guy, which I wish we would learn his actual name. I don't like calling him just senpai, but it is out of respect. And it was the senpai's little brother that did go off and get married, which makes me wonder, how old is senpai? How old is the little brother? We don't really learn their ages, and I actually didn't dive too deep in the books. Like I said, I didn't really finish them because they got a little competitive, and they went through some like fantasy stuff and some really weird stuff. And Mori really did pour out his heart to his senpai, and I can understand. Yes, did Mori do a bad thing with the whole drugs and the rape thing? Yes, he did. But it's not like he intended to do that. He tried to hide it. He didn't. But then when the opportunity came and senpai was so weak that he couldn't really move, Mori lost himself in wanting to be with this guy. I understand where he's coming from, But, this anime's got great graphics. It's got good characters. The characters are good to each other. You can see the turmoil in Mori's, you can see the turmoil in him. He cries. He doesn't really know how to show his affections. And he slowly starts getting ready to leave. And it scared his senpai, because I don't know about you guys, but that would terrify me if one of my friends, or even someone that I loved with all my heart, just up and left with no word, not a letter, not a voicemail, nothing, didn't tell anybody where they were going. I would be so scared. And I think that's what it happened with senpai. When he finally realized that Mori wasn't around, he was starting to miss him. And not only that, when he finally realized, wait a minute, he's missing way too much work, or he's missing way too much school, something's not right, he took it upon himself to go find out. He talked to the parents. He talked to everybody to try to find out where he was. So it really does show that senpai did care. He did care. It just might have not been that much. And okay, freak out. I love the freakouts in this anime, This is the kind of yaoi that I like. It's got a little bit of comedy. It's got a little bit of them, them freaking out over what we would think is nothing. It's okay, it's science, whatever, what the hell, I don't care. But to him, it's like, okay, he just made poison. Okay, what, you gonna kill that poor kid? You're a jerk. It's kind of my thing. I say you're a jerk a lot. I got really no catchphrases, no nothing. And see, they don't really and yes, that's my dog barking. He's being a brat. They really don't tell you like how long Mori has been gone. So it's kind of hard to tell. Has he been missing for a month? Has he been missing for a week? He really doesn't really say anything. And I mean, I really wish that this anime wasn't so long because I would really love to talk through the entire thing. But there is some really juicy stuff in here that I'm going to have to cut. And yes, this does have some nice juicy scenes, some really nice close-ups of things. I like those trees. I get distracted by little things, guys. You know that. Like Growl, I get distracted by little things. So, he starts calling people, and the one thing that I loved is after he was done hitting Mori for taking off and not telling anyone, he starts to cry. Senpai starts to cry, and he tries to cover it over by saying, it's salt water, blah, blah, blah. He tries to be scientific about it. But even I could be like, dude, you are trying to hide your emotions. Don't do it. If you care about him, go on and say it. And here's the other thing. He purposely kept going by Mori's house, ringing the doorbell, trying to, if he was there. Doors locked. He never stopped going to his house. So what does that tell you? He never stopped. So he does care. I don't care if you say, well, he must care for him like a friend. No. I don't think that's the case. I think he loves Mori, but he just doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to express that. It would be like Vegeta. Yeah, I'm going to go back to Vegeta real quick. It would be like, we've seen Vegeta, and it's hard for Vegeta to really show his love and his affection towards, his wife and his kids, because he's just so macho, and he's just, a big tough guy. And I think with Senpai, it's the same thing. I think he feels himself so much of a man, and he's such a hard person that he doesn't know how to express basic feelings of love, and he's afraid to show his fears. And, when you see that in an anime, it's kind of heartbreaking to see a guy who is going through this towards himself. That he's having this argument within himself, and, he doesn't know what to do. I have arguments within inside myself, and I'm seeing this review has gone on a little longer than what I should have. The running time's at 13 now. So, without further delay, I'm going to say my famous lines that I always love to say. This is Jahia Moondragon, and I will see you in the next anime. Bye-bye!